happy friends. So I have a new process video for you, and this is the layout that I'm going to be using for my inspiration, and that was from Instagram by at Lily Lane Photo, and she can be found on Instagram, and I know she's on Paper Issues, their Facebook page, a lot, so she shares a lot of stuff there. I'm not sure if she's part of their design team or not, but this layout, so she had all those triangles, and that kind of inspired me to do something with triangles again. I have done one in the past, though it didn't turn out too well. Um, but Victoria Marie from YouTube has made a Facebook group, and I think it's Victoria Calvin now on Facebook. I think that's her group. But let me check real quick. Yeah, it's Victoria Marie's Facebook group, and that's so Victoria Calvin or Victoria Marie from YouTube has started a Facebook group, and which she just does a whole bunch of scrapbook challenges for scrapbookers and card makers and crafters and stuff. So it has been super, super fun just to be a part of her group in just a short amount of time. She's only had it started for about a week or so. So this was the first challenge that she had. And her challenge was called All About Me. And you needed to use your stash, so you couldn't buy anything new. And you had to use a picture of yourself, and then you had to try a product or a technique or a tool that you've been meaning to use but haven't used. So, and then you have to post it to her Facebook page. So, group. And so, just because I find challenges to be really, really fun, and it's a good way to spark your like creativity in a different way. So, I thought I would do this challenge, and I actually did this the first day that she posted it. I was wanting to get in my room earlier that night. I believe my husband had off. I think it was a Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So, so I found a picture of me that I liked, and this picture is actually from my brother's wedding in August. I had taken, I was gonna take a selfie when we were getting my sister-in-law all ready, and so they were taking some pictures of her and stuff, and the other girls were getting ready, and so I was like, hey, I'll take a quick selfie. And the first one turned out really, really horrible. And so then I was like, okay, I got to do this better. So, and I actually was meaning to print this photo out in a little bit less of an orange color, but like a really light sepia or like almost black and white, but not quite. And my printer is apparently running out of ink. So I figured I would just use this anyway. So right now I'm just using that blue paper from Prima to be my template so that I can cut out and draw triangles that are all the same. Sorry guys, my brain is like, apparently I need more coffee today. I think that's what it is. It must be because I'm doing this during the day and I'm not used to that. And my computer is not working properly today. My headset has been like all funky, has not wanted to record right. So anyway, back to these triangles. So I'm using that blue pyramid paper to be a template for, so I have all the same size triangles because I want to fit them to like somewhat together. And so I'm just using that paper right there from Teresa Collins, and that's Life Emporium. And I know I use the fresh paper, ledger paper, flower paper, and one other one, I think, but I don't remember all the names. So, Some of them I had already cut the strips off. So here I cut 3, and I'm just kind of trying to get an idea of where I want them to go, maybe. And I'm trying to think about how I want them to lay, but I'm not going to glue anything down yet or, anything because I do want to stitch on it. So I also use this paper from Maggie Holmes, the open book collection, and that's, I believe, Memento, but I'm not positive on that. So I really like the vintagey look of that collection too. So I'm trying to use that to my advantage. And so I'm just trying to decide because the one paper that has the lines on it, I use some Maggie Holmes paper on that as well, a flower print. And so now I'm trying to decide which side I want to use, which pattern is going to go, because that is completely different paper than the line. But I really didn't want another wood grain, and there's a lot of wood grain papers in that collection, and I didn't want a wood grain. So just like that one, it kind of looks like bird feet or something on a wood grain. And I thought wood grain on wood grain would just be too much. So I do decide to use that pink side and not the striped side. Just because I didn't want it too orangey because my photo is that orange color, which I like because it makes it look a little bit more vintagey. So here I'm showing how I did my stitching, and I'm only going to show you a little bit on just this one triangle because it's kind of boring and it's the same process. So I figured you didn't want to sit through and watch me make holes and stitch, for 45 minutes because I think it took something like a half an hour or something. I don't know. It took a while. I just kind of, was listening to music, and I actually did this layout during the day. It was like during the afternoon. So I might have had to get up a couple of times. So I found I was going to just try to stitch right through, but then I realized that my needles aren't very thick. They're not a big needle. And this paper from Teresa Collins is very thick. So, in order to save my paper and my needle, because I didn't want to rip anything, I thought I would use what I use for brads, and it's actually like a bead reamer. So, like if you're going to make necklaces, but I really like the point on it. It has a really nice sharp point. So I just I have a scratch piece of like cardboard that I've like folded up, and I use that so that I don't mark up my mat too much because, that's a magnetic mat and it's really nice. And if I can keep it nice for a few years before I have to buy a new one, that would be great. So, um, so I just made holes all along where I wanted to do my stitching. And so here you see I had already thread my needle. And so I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to put, you know, stitch through the holes. And now I could have used embroidery thread. That probably would have worked too, but I really wanted a little bit of a thinner thread. I didn't want it just to be one strand. So I did like if you're going to darn your sock or something. Darn, I don't know. Fix a sock, a hole in the sock, mend a sock, or a toy, which is usually what I do my sewing on. So, mommy, there's a hole in my toy, right? So I just do it by hand since I don't have a sewing machine. And, for those small projects, it works out really well. Not so well when I needed to make a Halloween costume for my son, but that's a whole nother story. So here I'm trying to kind of get an idea of where I want things to lay, where I really want my photo on that left side. So I'm just trying to decide if I want. Sorry, I had to fix my headphones. It's probably really loud. Um, so I really wanted the card to probably be on the right side of the photo. So so here I'm deciding that I just need to place these triangles down because I was trying to not put them down too early because I don't want them to stick to the paper. And if I need to fix them, I don't want them to, like, the tape to come up. But I really just need to put them down because if I don't get them down, it's going to be hard for me to figure out how I want to put everything out. So that was my thought process. So that's why I'm doing that now. And I don't want them to be perfect. These triangles are pretty long, so it does kind of look a little wonky. Now, the stuff that I'm using to layer right now is mostly from paper issues from the November swag bag that I got. Paper Issues is a scrapbooking store online called paperissues.com, and they sell scrapbooking stuff. And amazing. The lady Cassie who owns it is really, really nice, and she's super quick. I mean, I live in Hawaii, and if I order something from them on a Monday, I will definitely have it by like Thursday, usually. So I've ordered from them a few times, and um, you can get stuff decently cheap, and the shipping is really great. And if you ask her if she can order something for you, she will try to do what she can to get it if she thinks it's going to sell. So I got the swag bag for November, and it's just an embellishment kit that they do. And she just puts. So I'm just using a lot of stuff from that because she had a lot of like clearing cards and stuff this month. So right now, at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to put those triangles down at the bottom. That paper right there is from Fancy Pants True Friends, I believe, because the colors look like that's what they're from. And that was like one, like 2x2 card maybe or something like that. And so, and then the triangles were in it, so I just cut them. So what really made me think about using that is because I was thinking, hey, I can use this for journaling because I didn't know how well a whole bunch of extra, 3x4 cards or whatever would work with all the triangles. And I didn't want to take away from the fact that I have these really cool triangles with sewing on them. So, and they turned out pretty nice considering I hand did it all by myself, right? So, those three triangles down at the bottom, I believe I use my Chamel pen because it's gray, and I did fake stitching on that because I didn't realize I was going to do that, and I didn't want to go back and do stitching on it. So in the kit there was a cork piece that has like a turquoisey color that matches with the card. Now, and the card says life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. And I really liked it because it really kind of went along with somewhat of what I was thinking about of what I wanted to do my journaling. And so I'm going to use the Teresa Collins, these stickers that have like a cork background for the first part of my title. And it's going to be called Loving My Life. And so really I just want to journal about like how, in a way, thankful I am, and just how I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like comfortable with being me, and I don't feel like I really need to change myself for anyone except for me, and how I'm comfortable with who I am and who I have become, and and how no matter what is going on in my life, around me, that I am still able to appreciate all the great things. So that's pretty much what my journaling is about. And so I really liked that card because it really just kind of said a lot of like, you know, where I've realized that like life is just, about you becoming you. And so, and since I don't do a whole lot of photos of just myself, like most scrapbookers probably, we're the ones taking the pictures, not behind the behind the camera. So, but I thought it would be good to do a layout, just kind of saying, hey, I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with where I'm at, and I appreciate my life. So, just so that one day, my kids can go back and be like, yeah, my mom, she was just really confident about herself. And because that's important, especially, having two girls, I want them to grow up and not feel like they have to change for anybody because you don't change for other people, you change for yourself. So, and you need to learn how to take your life and enjoy the parts that are good and just set aside the parts that aren't. So, and I want my kids to go back and look and say, yeah, my mom, she did that. She taught me to do that. So I'm just looking through that pack right there is Prima. I got the embellishment pack, and I was just looking to see if it had anything, and that's from the Coffee Time or Coffee Break line that they came out with not that long ago. And so I had some like aqua teal color sequins. I think that was from my swag bag last month, and they're a little bit bigger. And I really like how that color pops with the letter stickers that I use from October Afternoon, the mini market ones. And on the card, it has like a teal color, and then that one on the other right hand side of the card is a Prima card that I just use part of it. I really like the dots, and so I was trying to add those colors in without it being like, oh my gosh, there's tons of. But I really like that combo of pink and like that wood and the gray and the teal color. They just really look nice. So I'm just gonna use glossy accents to put all those down, and I also have some cork stars from Scraptastic. I'm not sure if they're from last month. I think they're from last month. So they're like more hand doodled. And I really like how that cork looks with the wood. And then in the swag bag, there was these gold looking buttons, and I have no idea what line they are from whatsoever. And so I had two of those, and I put those on there. So here I'm going to use my date stamp, and I use it in, what color did I use? It's like a green color, like a soft green. It's pastel green, but it almost looks white when I stamped it on. And I use that to stamp. And so here I'm just putting my journaling in, and those triangles are like the perfect size for doing a bit of journaling. Now, if I felt like maybe later on I wanted to add more, I would probably just put it on the back, like do a sheet on the back or something. So that's also a good way if you have like personal journaling for like a page like this. If you have some personal journaling and you don't want everybody to see it, because I know some people are really, if they know other people are going to read it, they're not going to, you just have a hard time. If you know someone's going to read it, like, you might not be as honest, right? So that was it of my layout. Here's a close-up. But, so, that's a great way to do journaling that is you. And you don't have to really tell people reading it until later. So I hope you guys enjoyed this layout. It was kind of quick. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great week and have an inspired week, guys. Do something different. Use a tool or a technique that you haven't used before. And check out Victoria's Facebook page.